A story of timeless love, ambition, and a twist of fate awaits. If you're ready to dive into a tale that will leave you breathless, hit that subscribe button and join us on this unforgettable journey. In the warm, sprawling suburbs of Johannesburg, South Africa, two souls began their journey into life under a canopy of privilege and promise. Camila and Malik were born only months apart into families that had long been intertwined by both business ties and a shared cultural heritage. Their parents, seasoned in the art of success and steeped in tradition, often joked about the inexplicable bond between the two children, a bond that, as fate would have it, grew far beyond mere friendship. From their earliest days, the pair were inseparable. While other children played in small, divided groups, Camila and Malik could always be found together. Their laughter echoed through the sunlit courtyards of their family homes, and every shared smile carried a promise of an enduring connection. Their mothers, both strong, determined entrepreneurs, recognized the magic in their companionship, arranging playful meetings and shared adventures. Meanwhile, their fathers, dignified men with an abiding respect for tradition, would often smile knowingly at the sight of the two children, remarking that destiny had woven their lives together long before they could understand its intricate patterns. In the long afternoons that stretched lazily under the African sun, the duo would race through manicured gardens, playing tag among fragrant blooms and ancient trees. Their days were filled with wonder and discovery, building forts out of discarded wood, reading books that transported them to fantastical realms, and engaging in friendly contests that tested their wits and agility. Malik, with his calm, methodical approach, often led their adventures with quiet confidence, while Camila's imaginative spirit and unyielding determination ensured that every game was filled with excitement and color. Despite the innocence of childhood, hints of something deeper stirred between them, a subtle recognition that their connection was extraordinary. As they grew, the playgrounds and quiet streets of Johannesburg bore witness to countless moments of shared triumphs and gentle consolations during moments of disappointment. Every scraped knee was attended to by a tender hand, every tear wiped away with whispered reassurances. Their bond was a silent promise of loyalty, a commitment that transcended the simple pleasures of youth. Even as the world around them began to change, as the seasons shifted and the demands of school life grew heavier, Camila and Malik never lost the effortless closeness that defined their early years. Their friendship was an anchor, steady and unwavering, amidst a sea of change. Every laugh, every whispered secret in the dim light of dusk, wove the tapestry of a relationship that would eventually define both of their lives. In the heart of Johannesburg, beneath an endless sky, two children unknowingly embarked on a journey that would not only chart the course of their own lives, but also shake the very foundations of the world they thought they knew. Their story was only just beginning, a story of childhood dreams and promises whispered on the wind, destined to evolve into something more profound and irrevocable. And as the city hummed with the promise of a new day, Camila and Malik continued to forge ahead, side by side, unaware of the extraordinary path that lay ahead. As the years unfurled, the once simple friendship between Camila and Malik blossomed into a layered, multifaceted connection. School days, once filled with carefree laughter and shared mischief, slowly gave way to the more complicated rhythms of adolescence. Classrooms became arenas for academic challenges and personal revelations, and within those walls, their bond was both tested and strengthened. Malik began to see Camila in a new light. Her laughter, which had always been the sound of unburdened joy, now struck him as something magical, an illumination that brought warmth to even the darkest corners of his heart. In return, Camila marveled at the quiet strength Malik exuded, his thoughtful gaze and steady presence a counterbalance to her sometimes impulsive spirit. Their differences complemented each other perfectly, and soon, whispers among classmates hinted at a love that was starting to take shape beneath the surface of their friendship. The transformation was gradual, marked by moments that seemed insignificant at first, a shared glance during a classroom discussion, a touch on the arm that lingered a bit too long, a stolen smile that hinted at secrets unspoken. It was on one unusually crisp evening, as the sky blushed with hues of fading orange and gentle pink, that the true nature of their evolving relationship was revealed. Seated atop the worn rooftop of Camila's family home, the pair watched the sun surrender to the horizon. The air was fragrant with the scent of jasmine, and in the quiet intimacy of that moment, Camila's voice trembled as she asked, almost in a whisper, "Do you ever wonder what it would be like if we were more than just friends?" Malik's heart pounded as he considered the possibility, a spark of forbidden hope igniting between them. That night, under the vast African sky, they sealed their unspoken pact with a gentle, tentative kiss. It was a moment that transcended the bounds of childhood, marking the beginning of a love that was as natural as it was unexpected. Yet, even as their hearts leapt with the thrill of discovery, they navigated the new terrain with the caution born of deep-seated friendship. They understood, even without words, that this was not merely a dalliance but the onset of a profound transformation, a metamorphosis of affection into something that would define their futures. In the corridors of their school, their newfound closeness did not go unnoticed. Friends and teachers alike remarked on the way they complemented each other, how Malik's rationality balanced Camila's wild creativity, and how together they forged a unity that was both tender and unbreakable. The transition from playmates to young lovers was not marked by grand declarations, but by the quiet acknowledgement of feelings that had been simmering beneath the surface for years. As they moved forward into the challenging landscape of adolescence, every shared secret, every comforting word in times of academic and personal turmoil, deepened their connection. Their relationship was a safe haven amidst the tumult of growing up, a sanctuary where dreams were nurtured and vulnerabilities shared. And so, with the innocence of first love and the wisdom of a bond that had weathered countless storms, Camila and Malik stepped into a future that promised both joy and inevitable heartache. Their friendship had evolved, but the essence of their connection, the silent, steadfast promise of always being there for one another, remained unchanged. It was a love born of childhood, nurtured by the trials of youth, and destined to flourish into something enduring and transformative. With the transition into high school came new challenges that tested the very core of Camila and Malik's blossoming relationship. The corridors of their school were now filled with the buzz of adolescence, rumors, rivalries, and the perennial questioning of what lay ahead. Yet amidst this chaotic backdrop, the steadfast bond between them served as both shield and compass. They navigated the halls together, drawing strength from one another as they faced academic pressures, social expectations, and the internal struggles that come with growing up. Every day presented a new hurdle. Difficult classes that demanded long hours of study, the sting of rejection from unfulfilled crushes, and the weight of dreams that seemed almost too large to carry. But Camila and Malik had a secret weapon, their unwavering belief in each other. While others doubted the longevity of young love, they remained certain that their connection was something extraordinary, something that could defy the transient whims of adolescence. Their bond was not merely a product of familiarity. It was a carefully nurtured relationship built on shared aspirations, mutual respect, and the quiet understanding that no matter what the future held, they would face it together. Graduation from high school marked not an end, but the beginning of a new chapter. When they received acceptance letters from universities in the same city, it was seen as a serendipitous sign that their futures were intertwined. As they packed their lives into suitcases and bid farewell to the familiar streets of their youth, every farewell was tempered with the hope of a future built side by side. University life brought its own set of challenges, rigorous academic schedules, new social circles, and the pressure to forge independent identities. Yet, in the midst of this whirlwind, Camila and Malik remained each other's constant. Weekends became sacred rituals reserved exclusively for each other. They would drive for hours along winding country roads, exploring quaint towns, discovering hidden cafes, or simply sitting by a serene lake discussing dreams and fears. Each moment was a reaffirmation of their commitment to one another. Malik, with his methodical approach to life, planned for the future with quiet determination. Camila, ever the free spirit, filled their shared days with bursts of creative energy and unbridled enthusiasm for what life could be. Together, they learned the delicate art of compromise, balancing Malik's need for order with Camila's desire for spontaneity. Their love was not without its critics. Some whispered that their youthful infatuation would eventually fade, that the demands of adulthood would force them apart. But each challenge only served to cement their bond further. Late-night study sessions, moments of silence broken only by mutual understanding, and the shared exhilaration of small victories on exams or personal projects all contributed to a tapestry of memories that would define their relationship for years to come. In a world where everything seemed transient and uncertain, the steadfast certainty of their love became their refuge. Every challenge they overcame was a victory not just for themselves, but for the promise they had made to one another long ago. A promise that no matter how the world changed, their hearts would always remain linked. The trials of young love, far from weakening their bond, forged it into something resilient, capable of weathering any storm. And as they embraced the promise of a future together, Camila and Malik knew that the seeds of their childhood affection had grown into a love that was both rare and unyielding. Their journey through the turbulent years of adolescence was a testament to the strength of their connection, a declaration that true love, when nurtured with care and mutual respect, can indeed triumph against all odds. As the years ahead beckoned with promise and uncertainty, they stepped forward into the unknown, hand in hand, with hearts full of hope and a resolve that was as enduring as the ancient landscapes of their homeland. In the gentle light of early adulthood, when dreams began to take on the hues of reality, Malik found himself standing on the threshold of a decision that would forever change both his and Camila's lives. Now a rising architect known for his innovative ideas and quiet determination, Malik had spent years envisioning a future that seamlessly merged his passion for design with his deep-rooted love for Camila. Their shared moments, quiet evenings spent under starlit skies, heartfelt conversations in sun-dappled courtyards, and the unspoken promises of countless days, had prepared him for the moment when he would dare to put his love into a tangible form. He chose a secluded terrace perched on the edge of a vast savanna, a place where the wild beauty of South Africa unfolded in endless vistas of orange and gold. The setting was almost otherworldly, a canvas of undulating hills and ancient acacia trees, with the distant call of wildlife harmonizing with the soft murmur of the wind. As dusk approached, painting the sky with breathtaking colors, Malik meticulously arranged every detail of the proposal. A small table adorned with flickering candles and delicate wildflowers set the stage for a night of profound significance. When Camila arrived, her eyes sparkled with the excitement of an adventure yet to be told. They stood together on that windswept terrace, the weight of years of shared memories culminating in a moment that felt both inevitable and miraculous. Malik's voice, usually measured and calm, trembled with vulnerability as he began to speak. He recounted their journey, from the innocent laughter of childhood to the quiet strength of their growing bond. And then, with a deep sincerity that resonated in every word, he knelt before her. In that heartbeat of time, as the savanna stretched out beneath them and the stars began to emerge, he asked the question that had been nestled in his heart for so long. "Will you marry me?" Camila's eyes filled with tears, not of sorrow but of overwhelming joy. In that fleeting moment, the world seemed to hold its breath as she whispered a trembling yes. It was an affirmation that went beyond words, a promise of endless devotion, of shared dreams and aspirations that would forever be intertwined. The gentle hum of the night, the soft rustle of the grass, and the distant calls of nature bore witness to a love that had grown from the simplest beginnings into something extraordinary and transcendent. In the days that followed, as the memory of that magical evening warmed their hearts, plans for the future began to take shape. They envisioned a life built on creativity, mutual respect, and the unwavering support that had defined their every interaction. Malik's proposal was not merely a question answered. It was the beginning of a commitment to a future where every sunrise promised new adventures and every sunset marked the triumph of love over time. The savanna had offered them its quiet blessing, and under its endless sky, Camila and Malik set their course for a life filled with hope, passion, and the enduring promise of forever. Returning to the vibrant heart of Johannesburg with hearts ablaze from their recent engagement, Camila and Malik soon found themselves immersed in a whirlwind of anticipation and planning. Their wedding was destined to be more than a mere ceremony. It would be an extravagant celebration of their extraordinary journey together, a milestone that would unite families and communities in admiration and awe. Invitations were sent out with meticulous care, each one a prelude to the grand event that would soon captivate the city. Every detail was curated to perfection, blending modern elegance with timeless traditions that paid homage to both their cultural heritage and the contemporary world they inhabited. The chosen venue was nothing short of breathtaking, a historic mountaintop estate in the Western Cape, perched on the edge of a rugged cliff and offering panoramic views of the vast Atlantic Ocean. The estate, with its lush greenery and regal architecture, was the perfect embodiment of the couple's dreams, majestic, enduring, and filled with an air of quiet sophistication. In the weeks leading up to the big day, the air buzzed with excitement. Friends, family, and even distant acquaintances eagerly shared in the couple's joy. Magazine features and social media buzzed with rumors that this wedding would soon become the event of the year, a testament to a love story that had captivated hearts from childhood to adulthood. Despite the grand preparations, Camila and Malik remained true to themselves. They found solace in the simple moments. The late-night conversations over cups of jasmine tea, the laughter shared while rehearsing dance steps, and the gentle comfort of knowing that every small detail was a reflection of their shared vision. Camila, ever the creative soul, poured her heart into designing every element of the celebration. Malik, balancing her exuberance with his practical nature, ensured that even the most intricate plans had a solid foundation. Their complementary strengths transformed wedding planning into a joyful labor of love rather than a source of stress. On the eve of the wedding, as the city hummed with anticipation, a unique tradition unfolded. Traditionally, the couple would spend the night apart, a ritual meant to honor individual reflection before their lives were irrevocably entwined. However, Camila and Malik found themselves unable to embrace solitude. Instead, they spent the night on the phone, sharing whispered thoughts and dreams under the cloak of darkness. Their conversation was filled with tender reassurances and a quiet celebration of the life they were about to embark on together. The day of the wedding arrived with a radiant glow that seemed to promise an eternity of happiness. Guests arrived dressed in elegant attire, each person eager to witness a union that symbolized more than just love. It was the convergence of two destinies, two histories, and two families. As Camila made her way down the aisle, every eye in the grand hall was fixed upon her. Her wedding gown, a masterpiece of delicate lace and ethereal grace, flowed behind her like a whisper of dreams fulfilled. Malik, waiting at the end of the aisle with a mix of anticipation and reverence, could hardly believe that the love of his life was now about to become his wife. Every moment of the ceremony was imbued with meaning. The carefully chosen readings, the soft strains of music that filled the air, and the shared vows that resonated with promises made long before they were spoken aloud. With each word, every promise, the past and the future converged into one eternal present. And as the couple sealed their vows with a kiss beneath the glow of 1,000 twinkling lights, the guests erupted in applause, the sound echoing like a joyful anthem of hope and renewal. Yet beneath the surface of this perfect day, an undercurrent of fate lurked, one that would soon transform a celebration of love into a tragedy that no one could have foreseen. In the midst of the revelry, Camila's father stepped forward with a final, unexpected gift, a private helicopter ride that promised one last extraordinary adventure for the newlyweds. With hearts full of joy and a sense of destiny guiding them, Camila and Malik accepted the invitation, unaware that the gift carried with it a hidden cost, a cost that would soon shatter the illusion of their perfect day. The morning after the grand celebration, the air was filled with a lingering sense of magic. In the soft light of dawn, Camila and Malik awoke to a day that promised both reflection and new beginnings. Their wedding had been a fairy tale come to life, a tapestry of carefully woven moments that celebrated not only their love, but also the merging of two families and legacies. As they prepared for one final ceremonial act, the excitement was palpable. This was not simply a continuation of the festivities. It was a sacred ritual that symbolized the eternal union of their hearts. In the quiet intimacy of the estate's ornate chapel, every detail was a testament to to their journey. The floral arrangements, painstakingly arranged to mimic nature's most delicate beauty, whispered secrets of hope and rebirth. The soft strains of a string quartet filled the space, each note resonating with the promise of a future built on love and trust. As the guests took their seats, the atmosphere grew charged with anticipation. Friends, family, and even distant acquaintances felt the weight of the moment, a culmination of years of shared dreams and whispered promises. Camila, adorned in a gown that seemed spun from stardust, stepped gracefully down the aisle. Each step was measured, imbued with a confidence that belied the turbulent emotions roiling beneath her composed exterior. Malik stood at the end of the aisle, his eyes locked on hers with an intensity that spoke of decades of shared moments. Their eyes met, and in that look was the silent communication of two souls that had journeyed through both light and shadow together. The ceremony was a blend of traditional rituals and personal vows that defied convention. Malik's voice, steady and sincere, recounted the history of their love, a narrative that spanned from the laughter of their childhood to the bittersweet lessons of their teenage years. Camila's vows, tender yet resolute, promised unwavering support and the courage to face every challenge, no matter how formidable. As they exchanged rings, a symbol not just of their commitment, but also of the shared scars and triumphs of their past, their hearts spoke in unison, a quiet melody of hope that resonated with every soul present. After the formal proceedings, the celebration spilled into an opulent reception beneath the soft glow of chandeliers. Laughter mingled with the gentle clink of glasses as guests raised toasts to a future as radiant as the star-strewn sky. Every detail had been meticulously planned to capture the essence of Camila and Malik's love, a love that was as gentle as a whisper, yet as powerful as a raging storm. As they danced under the light, time seemed to slow, each moment etched forever in memory. But even as the music swelled and the night grew enchanted with promise, a silent thread of foreboding wove its way through the festivities, a subtle hint that the culmination of their perfect day would soon be interrupted by forces far beyond their control. Little did anyone know, the final gift from Camila's father, the promise of an exhilarating helicopter ride, was about to become the pivot upon which their destiny would turn. With hearts still buoyed by the triumph of their union, Camila and Malik, hand in hand, prepared to step into the night, unaware that the celebration of their love was on the cusp of an unimaginable twist. After a day filled with wonder and celebration, the wedding night had drawn to a close, leaving behind memories that shimmered like fragments of a dream. Yet, amid the soft murmurs of well wishes and the lingering taste of champagne, a surprise awaited the couple that would redefine the contours of their extraordinary day. Camila's father, a man of tradition and secret passions, had prepared one final gift, a private helicopter ride meant to capture the magic of their newfound union from a breathtaking vantage point. As the stars emerged one by one against the velvet night sky, Camila and Malik found themselves stepping toward the sleek, waiting aircraft. The helicopter, its rotors humming softly in the cool night air, was a striking contrast to the opulence of the estate, a symbol of both modern ambition and the timeless allure of adventure. With an air of excitement mingled with trepidation, the newlyweds climbed aboard, their hands still entwined from the moments earlier. The pilot greeted them with a reassuring smile as he briefed them on the journey ahead, a brief flight over the majestic landscapes of South Africa that promised a panorama of infinite beauty. Inside the helicopter, the atmosphere was intimate and charged with anticipation. Camila pressed her cheek against Malik's as they settled into their seats, both eager to capture one last slice of their perfect day. The gentle vibration of the engine and the rhythmic chopping of the rotors provided a backdrop to their whispered promises and soft laughter. For a while, everything seemed idyllic, the world below bathed in silver light, the distant mountains and ocean forming a mesmerizing tapestry of nature's splendor. As the helicopter ascended, the estate's twinkling lights slowly receded into the distance, replaced by the vast, starlit expanse of the African wilderness. Malik marveled at the sweeping views, his thoughts drifting to the countless moments that had led him here, from the innocent days of childhood to the fierce, unyielding love that now bound him to Camila. Their conversation was punctuated by laughter and gentle touches, each gesture reinforcing the intimacy that had always defined their relationship. But as the aircraft climbed higher, a subtle shift began to disturb the harmony of the night. A sudden, brisk gust of wind rattled the helicopter, drawing startled glances between the couple. The pilot's confident voice on the radio urged calm, but an undercurrent of unease crept into the cockpit. Camila squeezed Malik's hand, her eyes searching his for reassurance. "This is our moment," he whispered, his voice a blend of determination and lingering doubt. "Nothing can take this away from us." For a fleeting moment, hope and joy shimmered in the delicate balance of the night. Yet, beneath the veneer of perfection, fate was setting the stage for a dramatic turn, one that would see the very essence of their happiness upended in an instant. As the helicopter glided above the majestic African landscape, Camila and Malik basked in the splendor of the night. The moon's gentle glow bathed the rugged terrain in a silver sheen, and the cool breeze whispered secrets of distant lands. For a time, they allowed themselves to be carried away by the beauty surrounding them, unaware that nature itself was about to conspire against their joy. The initial gust of wind had been a minor disturbance, a mere hint that the air was growing unstable. But within minutes, the gentle sway of the aircraft turned into erratic jolts that threw the couple off balance. The pilot's calm commands over the radio grew increasingly urgent as turbulence escalated. Malik's eyes darted between the rapidly changing instruments and the horizon, trying to make sense of the sudden chaos. Camila's grip tightened on his hand, her knuckles white with fear as she fought to steady her breathing. Outside, the serene African night transformed into a turbulent canvas of swirling winds and shadowy clouds. The helicopter began to shudder violently, the steady hum of its rotors now a dissonant cry against the howling gale. In those terrifying moments, the realization struck with overwhelming clarity. This was no ordinary disturbance. The aircraft was caught in the clutches of an unexpected storm, a force that seemed intent on unraveling the fragile threads of their perfect day. With every shudder of the helicopter, Malik's thoughts raced. Memories of laughter, tender whispers, and promises made in quiet moments flashed before his eyes. Amid the chaos, his determination to protect Camila crystallized into an unspoken vow. "We'll get through this," he murmured, though his voice wavered as much as the aircraft. In the midst of nature's fury, the intimate cabin of the helicopter became a small sanctuary, a fragile bubble of shared hope against the relentless force of the storm outside. As the aircraft began to lose altitude with alarming speed, the pilot fought desperately to regain control. The lights inside flickered in time with the turbulent rhythm of the wind, casting long, trembling shadows over Camila's frightened face. Every second stretched into an eternity as Malik and Camila clung to each other, their hearts pounding in unison with the tumult outside. The beautiful night had morphed into a chaotic battleground, where the dreams of a perfect wedding now teetered on the edge of despair. Despite the growing panic, there was a raw, unyielding determination in their eyes, a silent agreement that even if fate had dealt them a cruel hand, they would face it together. The helicopter, caught in the midst of a storm's fury, was a fragile vessel against an unforgiving force of nature. And as the aircraft hurtled through the darkness, the love between Camila and Malik burned all the brighter, a beacon of hope in a night that was rapidly descending into chaos. In an agonizingly slow passage of time that felt both surreal and unbearably brief, the helicopter's fate was sealed. The relentless storm hammered at the fragile machine as it plummeted toward the jagged outcrop of a rocky mountainside. In a deafening collision of metal and stone, the once majestic vessel shuddered under the impact, its delicate structure splintering into shards of fire and twisted metal. A cacophony of shouts, the roar of flames, and the unyielding crack of destruction filled the night, shattering the illusion of a perfect night. Inside the wreckage, chaos reigned. Camila's ears rang with the sound of tearing metal and the frantic commands of the pilot. Malik, dazed and disoriented, tried to gather his thoughts while clutching Camila's trembling hand. The cabin, once a sanctuary of whispered dreams and gentle reassurances, had transformed into a scene of surreal horror. Flames licked hungrily at the charred remains of the interior as smoke filled every corner, stifling and blinding in its intensity. In that instant, Every second became a desperate struggle for survival. Malik's voice, hoarse with fear, called out for Camila as he tried to drag her away from the rapidly encroaching inferno. Their movements were slow, burdened by shock and pain, but each small act of courage was a testament to the bond they had forged over a lifetime. Outside, the wind howled like a beast unleashed, carrying with it the embers of a once-celebrated joy now reduced to chaos. The rocky ground, illuminated by the cruel glare of fire, offered little mercy as the wreckage teetered on the precipice between salvation and a fatal plunge into the abyss. Amid the swirling chaos, a heart-wrenching scene unfolded. Malik, bloodied and barely conscious, clung to Camila as she fought to drag him toward a shard of stability, a jagged opening in the twisted fuselage that offered a potential escape route. Every step forward was an act of defiance against the merciless hand of fate. The overwhelming heat, the roar of the flames, and the overwhelming sense of despair all converged into a single, desperate moment. A moment where the strength of their love was tested against the brutality of nature. In the final throes of that tragic flight, as the wreckage groaned under the relentless assault of gravity and fire, the harsh reality set in. The helicopter, now a dying beast, began to slip away from any semblance of control. Malik's weakened voice, barely audible over the din, pleaded for Camila to hold on just a little longer. Their eyes met, two souls locked in a final, desperate struggle to defy the inevitable. And then, with a shuddering finality that silenced even the raging storm, the helicopter began its fatal descent toward the rocky chasm below, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of a love that had defied every expectation. In the aftermath of the catastrophic impact, silence descended in a way that was almost as terrifying as the chaos that had preceded it. Amid the twisted wreckage, Camila found herself grappling with the searing pain of broken bones and the suffocating haze of smoke. The world around her had transformed into a surreal battlefield of shattered metal and burning debris. Yet, despite the overwhelming agony, one thought surged above all else: Malik. Barely conscious and with his once pristine suit torn and stained, Malik lay crumpled amid the remnants of what had once been their chariot of joy. Each shallow breath he took seemed to echo the heartbreak of a love story now teetering on the edge of oblivion. Desperation lent Camila strength. With trembling limbs, she crawled through the wreckage, her vision blurred by tears and soot. Every movement sent searing waves of pain rippling through her body, but she forced herself onward. She had to reach him, had to pull him from the clutches of death. With each agonizing inch, the inferno roared louder behind them, a relentless reminder that time was slipping away. Malik's face, partially hidden by blood and grime, flickered in and out of consciousness, his eyes fluttering in a desperate plea for help. "Stay with me," he whispered, his voice weak but determined. Camila's heart clenched at the sound, and her own voice, choked with sorrow, barely managed to murmur back a promise that echoed through the darkness. "I won't let you go." They maneuvered slowly toward a jagged opening in the fuselage, a narrow escape from the burning nightmare. Each step was fraught with danger. Every shift of unstable metal and crackling flame threatened to cast them into the abyss below. The weight of their shared memories, the laughter of childhood, the whispered promises of adolescence, the quiet hopes of a future together, lent them an almost superhuman resolve. Even as Malik's grip weakened and Camila's body trembled with exhaustion, their intertwined hands became a symbol of defiance against the overwhelming forces of fate. For a fleeting moment, as the fire roared behind them and the wreckage creaked ominously, there was a suspended pause, a silent interlude where love and desperation converged. Malik's eyes, clouded with pain and fading consciousness, locked onto Camila's. In that gaze was the full measure of a lifetime together, a love that had transcended the boundaries of time and circumstance. It was a silent promise, a vow that even in the face of unspeakable tragedy, they would not surrender to the darkness without a final, valiant struggle. But the reality was cruel. The structure around them groaned with each passing second, as if warning that the fragile hope of escape was slipping away. Malik's voice, now a mere whisper, implored her to hold on just a little longer. Camila's tears fell freely, mingling with the dust and ash, as she redoubled her efforts to pull him towards safety. Every heartbeat was a battle, a desperate struggle to defy the inexorable pull of fate. And though the odds were insurmountable, their love shone like a beacon in that desolate, hellish moment. The wreckage, battered by the relentless forces of nature, began to shift dangerously. The ground beneath them was unstable, the future uncertain, and every second was a battle against both time and the relentless fury of the flames. Trapped between life and death, Camila and Malik clung to each other, their intertwined fates a poignant reminder that sometimes, even the strongest bonds are tested in the crucible of tragedy. In the heart of that burning nightmare, as the boundaries between hope and despair blurred into a single, agonizing continuum, Camila and Malik reached for one another with all the strength their battered bodies could muster. Malik's eyes, though heavy with pain and resignation, glimmered with a spark of defiance that refused to be extinguished. "Stay with me," he rasped, his voice a fragile whisper that resonated with the weight of every memory they had shared. Camila's heart shattered with the sound, but she refused to let go. Every fiber of her being surged with determination, a fierce, unyielding resolve to keep their love alive against the relentless forces of nature and fate. Clinging to Malik as if he were the last anchor in a storm-tossed sea, Camila summoned the last reserves of her strength to drag him toward a semblance of safety. Every step was a battle against pain, every inch a defiance of the inevitability that loomed like a dark specter over them. The inferno raged around them, its searing heat threatening to consume not just their bodies but the very hope that had carried them this far. Yet in that crucible of terror and despair, something extraordinary unfolded, a testament to the resilience of a love that had been nurtured since childhood. Their intertwined fingers became symbols of unbreakable unity as they navigated through the labyrinth of twisted metal and flames. The sounds of the disaster, the crackle of burning debris, the groan of shifting wreckage, the haunting wail of the wind, were all drowned out by the soft, desperate cadence of their shared pleas. "Please, Malik, stay with me," Camila repeated, her voice trembling with equal measures of sorrow and defiance. Every time his eyelids drooped, she would gently shake him, urging him to fight against the inevitable. In those fleeting moments, the world around them receded into a blur, leaving only the echo of their love as a testament to all they had been through together. In that final, heartbreaking struggle, time seemed to dilate into an endless expanse of pain and beauty. Malik's weakened form fought to rise, his eyes locked on Camila's, a gaze that held both the weight of their past and the unspoken hope of a future that might still be salvaged. Their love, tested by the cruel hand of fate, shone with an intensity that defied the consuming darkness. It was a quiet rebellion against the relentless pull of destiny, a vow that even if their physical bodies succumbed to the devastation, the spirit of their love would endure. Yet, even as Camila's efforts grew ever more desperate, the reality of their situation loomed large. The unstable wreckage creaked ominously, a constant reminder that nature's fury was indifferent to the pleas of two desperate souls. The distance between life and death was narrowing rapidly, and every moment became a countdown toward an inevitable climax. Amid the agony and chaos, Camila's whispered promises and Malik's fading reassurances merged into a singular prayer, a plea for one last chance, one final moment to defy the ravages of fate. But as the fire roared louder and the wreckage shifted once more, the couple's struggle reached its heartbreaking crescendo. Malik's eyes, once so full of determination, began to lose their focus. In that final, bittersweet instant, his grip slackened ever so slightly, a signal that the battle he fought with all his might was coming to an end. Camila's heart broke all over again as she realized that despite every ounce of strength she could muster, the weight of destiny was insurmountable. And so, in the midst of that turbulent, hellish night, Camila and Malik, united in love and despair, shared a final, silent moment. A moment that encapsulated a lifetime of promises, dreams, and unyielding devotion. It was a moment that declared to the cruel universe that even if love could not always conquer death, it would forever defy the darkness with a brilliance that no flame could ever extinguish. The silence that followed the catastrophe was deafening, a silence so profound that it seemed to absorb every tear, every whispered plea, every heartbeat that had once defied the odds. When emergency responders arrived at the shattered remnants of the helicopter, all that remained were fragments of what had once been a testament to love's power. The bodies of Camila and Malik lay amidst twisted metal and smoldering ashes, a tragic tableau that left the world reeling in disbelief. In the days that followed, shock and sorrow mingled with an unsettling murmur of whispers and questions. How could a day that had begun with the promise of eternal love end in such catastrophic loss? Investigators, determined to unearth the truth behind the devastating accident, meticulously combed through evidence, piecing together the sequence of events. And what they discovered sent shockwaves through the community, a revelation so horrifying, so unexpected, that it rewrote the narrative of that fateful night. Camila's father, the man who had once been revered for his wisdom and benevolence, emerged as a central figure in a conspiracy that defied all logic. The luxurious gift of the helicopter, a gesture intended to elevate the joy of the wedding, had been meticulously orchestrated not as a celebration but as a trap. In a web of deceit and dark intentions, it was revealed that someone had tampered with the safety mechanisms of the aircraft. The investigation uncovered evidence of sabotage, a cold, calculated act meant to bring down two souls whose love had become an emblem of hope and promise. The motives behind this treachery were as twisted as they were shocking. Hidden grudges, financial rivalries, and a conspiracy that reached into the upper echelons of society. As the truth emerged, the public was forced to confront the uncomfortable reality that the celebration of a lifetime had been undermined by malicious intent. Families wept not only for the loss of Camila and Malik, but also for the betrayal that had lurked behind the facade of opulence and joy. Friends recalled their favorite moments with the couple, their laughter, their shared dreams, and the quiet strength of a love that had defied every expectation. In every whispered conversation and tearful recollection, a profound sadness mingled with the awe of a love so fierce that even death could not fully extinguish its memory. In the final reckoning, as the investigation continued and the world grappled with the unthinkable truth, Camila and Malik's story became a symbol, a tragic reminder that love, in all its beauty and complexity, can sometimes be shadowed by forces far beyond our control. Their union, which had begun in the innocence of childhood and matured into a bond that promised forever, was snatched away by betrayal and dark ambition. Yet even in death, their legacy endured. Memorials were held in their honor, with communities uniting to celebrate the indomitable spirit of their love. Their story, though marked by heartbreak, inspired countless others to cherish every fleeting moment of love, to stand up against injustice, and to believe that even in the darkest of times, the light of true devotion can shine through. In a poignant conclusion to this bittersweet saga, the truth behind the sabotage ignited a wave of reform and accountability. The conspiracies that had led to that tragic night were exposed, ensuring that the memory of Camila and Malik would not be tainted by silence or denial. Their lives, their dreams, and their enduring love became a rallying cry, a reminder that sometimes the most brilliant lights are forged in the crucible of despair. And so, as the sun set on the horizon of a world forever changed by their untimely departure, the story of Camila and Malik lived on. It was a story of love that transcended time, of hearts that beat in defiance of fate, and of a truth so shocking that it challenged the very nature of destiny. In every tear shed, every heart that ached for what was lost, their legacy endured, a timeless testament to the power of love and the unyielding human spirit. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts and what kind of stories you'd love to hear next. Your support means the world. See you in the next one.